This year's divisional round for the NFL playoffs has been the most insane weekend of football I think I have ever experienced in my life. Because in the 4 games that we got a little bit of a mix of everything. We had blowouts, we had games going to overtime, we had so many different things happening that I just had to talk about all of it. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about all 4 games. I'm going to give you my thoughts on each one. I'm going to be talking about some more than others. Rest in peace, Chicago. But before we get into all of it, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit YouTube's new hype button. That'd be great. That'd make me feel nice. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let's just get the Seahawks and Niners game out of the way, because there really isn't much to talk about. It was a blowout. Seattle's defense looked incredible. The Niners had no answer for it. It was a blowout, 41-6. I mean, Seattle, honestly, they have the argument of being the best team in the playoffs right now. I mean, they just looked so dominant from beginning to end. The Niners had no chance. I don't know if I'm going to pick them to win the Super Bowl yet. I have to kind of think about it before I make that whole video, but I'm just saying, like, they looked incredible, and they've been incredible all year long, and now they're going to go up against the Rams, which should be a really good game. So yeah, not really a whole lot to talk about with that game. So now we're going to go on to the Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos, and man, talk about a game where it could have gone either way for the majority of it, but I just really felt like the Bills should have won this game, and they probably would have if Josh Allen didn't play bad. Now, it also doesn't help that literally 30 minutes ago, Doug McDermott got fired, so he's no longer the Bills head coach. That's crazy in and of itself. But yeah, listen, I got to be honest with you. Josh Allen, I don't care what anyone says, he was not good in this game. He turned over the ball 4 times. I understand the guy had about like 350 yards of total offense, and he had like 3 touchdowns, I think it was. Like, don't get me wrong, like that all is fine. But again, he turned over the ball 4 times in a playoff game. You just can't do that. Now, everybody has been talking about that last interception, that 4th interception, whether it was a pick, whether it was a catch. To be honest with you, I thought I knew the difference. I thought I knew what the rule was, and now I'm not even so sure. I thought it was a catch, but then I saw it again. It might have been a pick. I don't know. I have no idea what it was. But even before that play, Josh missed throws. He missed a very easy touchdown to Knox that just went completely over his hands. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I understand that pick was crazy and it could have gone either way, but he still had 2 other fumbles and an interception before then. And please keep in mind, I think the world of Josh Allen. I think he's a top 2, top 3 quarterback in the entire NFL. He's incredibly talented, a physically gifted dude that has so much talent and potential. He's won league MVP. I have super high standards for the guy, and he just didn't deliver when it mattered. And on Denver's side, I mean, listen, everyone's been talking about how great Denver's defense is. The Bills put 30 on them. Like, I wanted to pump the brakes a little bit. Like, Denver's defense isn't spectacular. It's not Houston's or anything. And we'll get to Houston later. But listen, Bo Nix, he was clutch. He came through when it mattered, and it really, really sucks that he's out for the rest of the playoffs. Denver, I feel terrible for you guys. I'm not the biggest Bo Nix fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he has been clutch all season long, and he did it again against Buffalo, and he was great. And then he got hurt in that second to last play of overtime. I mean, that's just terrible. It's awesome that you guys are in the AFC Championship game, but now you have Jarrett Stidham as your guy, and I don't know. I mean, it could work out. Maybe he's better than most of us think he is. Maybe Sean Payton has been molding him in the background with Bo Nix. I don't know, but I mean, I'm just saying I don't have a whole lot of confidence in that. So yeah, ultimately, I feel like the Bills should have won that game, and I feel like they probably would have if Josh Allen didn't have as bad of a game as he did. But it is what it is. Now we talk about the freaking Texans and Patriots game. I mean, good Lord, that CJ Stroud, what in the hell happened to you? The dude was phenomenal in his rookie year. He looked like he was going to be an elite quarterback for a while. Then last season, he wasn't super great. And then this year, he wasn't super great. But this game against the Patriots, that genuinely, honest to God, might have been the worst performance from a quarterback that I have ever seen in my life. And I've seen Zach Wilson play. I've seen Tua play in some of his games. I've seen Trey Lance. I've seen some dudes that look so sorry out there. But my God, what CJ Stroud did, 4 picks in the first half, 4 picks. I mean, talk about a guy that just gave his team 0 chance to win. And that's including the fact that Houston defense, man, like, they deserved so much better than that, man. I'm sorry. Houston's defense has been lauded basically all season. They were looking legendary at one point. Like, that's how great they were looking. But, I mean, you just needed a decent, just like even just a bad performance from CJ Stroud would have been enough. Just a bad performance, because he wasn't just bad, he was awful. He was garbage. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if the guy just wasn't prepared. I don't know if the weather was really just bothering him like that. But I mean, if you watched the game, he just looked terrible. Like from everything, his body language, his attitude, something just didn't look right with him. And it's just confusing because, again, he looked so good in his rookie year. Like Houston thought, yo, we don't have Deshaun Watson anymore, but we got this dude. Like this dude looks great. And to New England, listen, I called them frauds in one of my shorts that I posted earlier. And listen, man, like Drake May has not looked that good in these playoffs so far. We have to be honest here. He hasn't. But a win's a win. In fact, 2 wins are 2 wins. Now they're in the AFC Championship game, and I gotta give them props where props is due, because it's looking pretty likely that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And that's already coming off of an MVP caliber season for Drake May. Even though, yes, like I said, I have personally felt like the Patriots were frauds because of how easy their schedule was. But given everything he has around him, or how little, depending on how you look at it, Drake May has been really good for the regular season, but the playoffs, he just hasn't looked that good. But again, give props where props is due. I thought that the Texans would beat the Patriots. They lost. Patriots in the AFC Championship game, and they have a very good chance of going to the Super Bowl. I mean, again, it depends on what Jarrett Stidham actually does. But that's really the thing right there. Houston would have won that game and probably would have been going to the Super Bowl if CJ Stroud just wasn't so awful. Like if he, I mean, it blows my mind the drop off that we have seen from this guy. I don't think we have ever seen in NFL history. It's awful. The dude really did just fall off a cliff. And before anyone makes any excuses, I know Nico Collins wasn't there. Still, that's not an excuse to throw 4 picks. And if you actually watch some of them, they're terrible, man. Again, terrible body language, terrible performance, terrible attitude. The dude just looked awful top to bottom. Which leaves us with the last game of the divisional round, the LA Rams versus my Chicago Bears. Oh my God, it stings. It hurts, man. So let me get the Rams out of the way first before I actually talk about the Bears. The Rams, much like the Patriots, because what I was saying earlier, the Rams haven't looked super impressive in these playoffs so far, because they barely got by the Carolina Panthers last week, and they barely got by the Chicago Bears last night. Now, I will say their defense looked better last night against the Bears than it did against Carolina. I'll give them that, but still, their offense wasn't looking very good, and maybe that's more credit to the Bears and their defense, which I'll talk about later, but still, they didn't look nearly as impressive as I was kind of hoping they would be. Because before the playoffs started, I had the Rams winning the entire thing. I just think from top to bottom on paper, they have the most well-rounded team, an incredible offense, and a very, very good defense, but again, both just haven't looked that great right now. But even though they went to overtime, they did make plays when it mattered most, and that's why they won the game. But is it really the Rams won the game, or did the Bears lose it? Because that's where I'm at with it. The Bears lost this game, man. Now we're talking about the Bears. I'm going to get a little bit emotional, okay? Because that's my squad. Listen, man. I understand the Bears were better this season than I think any of us were expecting. They were going farther than anyone thought that they would go. But this was a very winnable game for the Bears. I mean, first and foremost, Rome Odunze completely dropped a touchdown pass early in the game. I don't understand what happened there. Like, I get it. Rome was out for a good section of the year. Came back last week against the Packers, so maybe he's still trying to get his game legs under him. I don't know, but that was just... That pass was right on the money, and he missed it. There were drop passes from a couple of players, like Colson Loveland, who was massive in that Green Bay win. Not so massive in this game. But before I get to the real meaty stuff of the game, big shout out to Dennis Allen, our defensive coordinator, and that Bears defense. Literally since the second half of that Green Bay game, this Bears defense was completely different. They just looked great, a great Bears defense, and they showed up last night. Before overtime, they held the Rams to 17 points, which, again, with that offense, with the most likely MVP of the league in Matt Stafford, with Puka Nacua, arguably the best receiver in the game, and Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams, holding them to 17 points, that is huge. I wanted to make sure I gave the shout-outs where it was due, because Dennis Allen, massive. I'm so happy he's on the team. Getting back to the game itself, as we saw, this I don't think was Ben Johnson's greatest coaching performance of the year. Far from it as far as I'm concerned. As was kind of expected, he did go for it on a few fourth downs, and I think for the most part, it didn't work for most of them. I think it worked for one, but we'll get to that. The rest of them, he did go for it, and it didn't pan out. Some of the play calling was just very derivative, and I was kind of upset. I mean, especially when it was, near the goal line, and he ran the ball 3 different times. I don't understand what the idea was there. And then that short pass that missed, it was just, come on, man. And of course, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about that fourth down play from Caleb Williams. For the whole game. Game is on the line. He is backpedaling. You have defenders in your face, and somehow, some way, the man launches the football right to Cole Kmet for a last-second touchdown. Man, that is the second time in this postseason where Caleb has thrown one of the greatest throws I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he did it with the Packers. That left Jordan pose throw that was incredible to Rome Odunze, and then this dude's arm talent is, I want to say it's second to none, but I mean, that'd be disrespecting guys like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, but he's right there with them in terms of arm talent. This dude's talent is unbelievable. So now we've reached this point in the game where the game is 16-17, a couple seconds left in the game. The question is Ben Johnson going to go for it now that the momentum's behind him? And he didn't. He went for the field goal. And I got to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of people have an issue with this. I personally don't. I mean, I have no problem with them tying the game, going to overtime, and letting our defense do what they need to do again instead of risking it all on a 2-point conversion. Because again, our defense was great for the entire game. So me personally, I didn't have a problem with us not going for it on that 2-point conversion. But then we go into overtime, and the Rams get the ball. We stop them. We get the ball back. And then we get to that last interception from Caleb. My biggest issue with all of it is the fact that we were 15 yards away from being well within field goal range. And it was second down. It was 2nd and 8. We didn't need to do anything super crazy, which is why I don't understand. I mean, look, I should take that back because the play was good. It was a good play call that should have worked if things were communicated properly. I've seen way too many people online dragging DJ Moore for not trying hard enough and all that kind of stuff, saying that he should be gone and yada, yada, yada. First off, DJ Moore is part of the reason why we're even here to begin with. The guy has shown up and shown out over the last couple of weeks. He's proven that he's still a very good wide receiver. Let's not disrespect DJ Moore. People are trying to say that he just wasn't trying hard enough. I don't think that was it. I think it was an honest-to-God miscommunication between Caleb and DJ. That the play was supposed to be one thing, and DJ thought it was something else, and that's kind of why it fell apart. But even then, looking at the play itself, I mean, Caleb threw it. I feel like even if DJ recognized the play for what it was, it still looked a little bit far, and it was just a great pick. I mean, the interception itself was incredible, I'll be honest. And that's what, into the game. The Rams go down the field. They hit the field goal, game over. It was a super tough way to lose the game, I'll be honest. I mean, just because the momentum seemed to be on the Bears' side, and it was going back and forth. There really was no clear winner or clear better team overall, and I just thought that the Bears really had that shot, and they blew it. But honestly, I'm super happy with how the season went. This was Caleb's 2nd year in the league. This was his first year with Ben Johnson as his first year as head coach, and we saw the ups and downs. It wasn't perfect, but no one should have expected it to be perfect. The most important thing heading into the season were 2 questions that needed to be answered. Did we get the head coach right, and did we get the quarterback right? And both questions were answered emphatically. Big time, yes. I don't know if there's ever been a true point in Bears history where you could honestly say that, yep, you've got the quarterback and you've got the head coach. Well, sorry, head coach I take away. No disrespect to Mike Ditka. No disrespect. But in terms of quarterback, there's never been that point where we could honestly say, yep, we've got the quarterback. We nailed it. Now let's do the rest. And that's what it is. We've got our head coach. We've got our quarterback. They're going to be great for a long time. The Bears, let me tell you something. They're not going away. Frankly speaking, we're ahead of schedule, and we're just going to be back better than ever next season and for the next maybe, hopefully, 5-10 years. The Bears are going to be a problem for a while, man. It really does suck how the season ended, but it was a great season. A great season for the Bears and just an insane weekend of football. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about this entire divisional round. Is your team still in the playoffs? Are they in the Super Bowl hunt still? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, peace.